Join me as I dive deep into the tough question: why do good people suffer bad things? I'm going to explore real stories and try to find some answers. Suffering is a universal experience that touches almost every life at some point. It's a harsh reality that can leave us feeling helpless, confused, and even angry. Why do good people, who have done nothing to deserve it, suffer bad things? This question has puzzled people for centuries, and it's a question that I want to explore today. When we see good people suffering, it can be deeply unsettling. It challenges our understanding of a just and fair world, where good deeds are rewarded and bad ones are punished. We often wonder if there's some kind of grand plan or higher power that allows such injustices to occur. It's natural to feel frustrated, even betrayed, when we see good people suffering, and it's a feeling that can linger long after the initial shock has worn off. As we struggle to make sense of this paradox, we may find ourselves asking some tough questions. Is the universe really just and fair, or is it simply indifferent to our fate? Is there some kind of karmic debt that needs to be paid, or are we simply at the mercy of chance? The more we think about it, the more our minds can spin with possibilities. But despite the complexity of this issue, one thing is clear: suffering is a part of the human experience, and it can affect anyone, regardless of their moral character. So, how do we reconcile this harsh reality with our desire for justice and fairness? It's a question that has puzzled philosophers, theologians, and psychologists for centuries, and one that I want to explore further. From a philosophical perspective, the existence of suffering raises fundamental questions about the nature of reality and our place within it. Some argue that suffering is an illusion, a temporary aberration in an otherwise harmonious universe. Others believe that suffering is a necessary evil, a crucible that tests our character and shapes our souls. Each perspective offers a unique insight into the human condition, and together, they form a rich tapestry of thought. Religious traditions, too, offer a range of perspectives on suffering. In some belief systems, suffering is seen as a moral imperative, a test of faith that requires us to surrender to a higher power. In others, suffering is viewed as an illusion, a veil that obscures our true nature and must be pierced through spiritual practice. From Buddhism to Christianity, each tradition offers its own unique take on the role of suffering in the human experience. Psychologically, suffering can have a profound impact on our mental and emotional well-being. It can trigger a range of emotions, from grief and anger to despair and hopelessness. But it can also be a catalyst for growth, a turning point that forces us to re-evaluate our priorities and values. In this sense, suffering can be a transformative experience, one that ultimately makes us stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. But perhaps the most important insight we can gain from suffering is that it can be a doorway to personal growth, resilience, and a deeper understanding of life. When we're faced with adversity, we're forced to dig deep within ourselves, to find the strength and courage we never knew we had. And it's in these moments of raw vulnerability that we can discover new aspects of ourselves, aspects that can help us navigate the complexities of life. As we explore the complex issue of suffering, it's clear that there's no single answer, no magic bullet that can explain why good people suffer bad things. But what we can take away is that suffering is a universal experience that can foster positive change. It can be a wake-up call, a prompt to re-evaluate our priorities and live more mindfully. And it's in this sense that suffering can be a catalyst for growth, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's always hope. In conclusion, suffering is a complex part of the human experience that can foster positive change. It's a universal experience that touches almost every life, and one that requires us to dig deep within ourselves to find the strength and courage we need to navigate its challenges. Thanks for joining me on this exploration of suffering. If you have any thoughts on this topic, please share them in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about personal growth, check out my next video, where I'll be exploring strategies for building resilience in the face of adversity.